Good morning, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over the 5 best raid farms that you can do right now. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. So obviously raid farms took a bit of a hit when we came into Shadowlands as a load of raw gold actually dropped. This is actually revising this and going over which ones are performing the best along with different types of drops that you can get along with this. Aside from all of that, let's just jump into number 1, which is the Throne of Thunder. Now the Throne of Thunder is a very good farm in order to actually do. Providing that you actually have a enchanter, you can also make more gold when you're actually doing this. What you're going to be wanting to do in the Throne of Thunder is take out all of the bosses, and you'll have a chance of getting a hold of different types of battle pets. Now on the low end, on the low gold value of these different types of battle pets is the Pygmy Direhorn, Living Sandling, Jaccoon Hatchling and Vicious Horror. Now those ones tend to sell relatively well, but they also fetch a low price. Now in relation to all of this, that's anywhere from around about 500 to 5,000 gold if you wanted a baseline for that. Now on the high end, you have 2 different types of battle pets you can actually get from this raid, and that is the Living Fluid and the Son of Animus. These battle pets tend to sell for a hefty amount of gold overall, and I tend to find that it works quite well in the long run. With the Throne of Thunder, however, if you are an enchanter and you take out all of the bosses, do not vendor your epic items that you actually get from this. Not only from this, you can actually pick up a decent amount of gold just by disenchanting a load of the epics that you actually get along with this raid. I tend to find that this is a good way in order to make some gold when I'm doing any other different types of raids, just by bringing my disenchanter and then just disenchanting all of those different types of stuff that don't sell for a decent amount or is soulbound. I find that that brings me in a load of extra gold that I wouldn't have otherwise, and it typically is better than actually just vendoring all of those items, since the actual nerf to the gold for vendoring all of those epics. You can tend to actually get more gold for just disenchanting them. Now coming in at number 2, and at no surprise, is the Siege of ORGRIMMAR. Now this raid is typically run for a couple of different types of battle pets as well, and you'll kind of find the trend when it comes towards raid farms, as battle pets are quite frequent in all of these different types of raids. The medium range battle pets are the Gooey Sharling, Black Fuse Bombling and Kovok. Depending on your server, this can range from anywhere from like 5,000 towards 15,000 gold per battle pet, but on the high end you can also get your droplet of QIRAJ, which is at a region market value average at this moment of around about 33,000 gold. I tend to find that this is a very good raid in order to actually do, as well as disenchanting any of the stuff that I get along with this. Failing that, I also get a load of different types of mats because we're killing a load of humanoids within the actual raid, and I tend to find that I get quite a considerable amount of different types of materials when I actually run this. Mainly I run this just for the Black Fuse Bombling and the droplet of QIRAJ, as those typically sell for the most gold, and I find that it takes me less time to actually do when I use the LFR NPC, which is located in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. I find that this raid is pretty dang easy in order to do, especially when you're doing it in LFR, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier in order to farm up these battle pets on multiple different alts, as I would than just running the actual raid from the beginning. Now, that being said, let's move on to number 3, which is Icecrown Citadel. I find that Icecrown Citadel is great for running it on a tailor, as I get quite a considerable amount of Frostweave cloth. I can use that in order to craft into braces, which then I disenchant. Failing that as well, I can also, on the low end, get a hold of a few different types of battle pets, such as the Bone Shard, Blood Boil, Blight Breath and Soulbroken Whelpling. These ones don't really sell for an awful lot, as Icecrown Citadel is farmed up on regular. If you run this on normal and not heroic, you have a chance of getting a hold of the Drudge Ghoul. 10 man and 25 man normal will drop the Drudge Ghoul, and this is at the end of the actual raid when you take out the Lich King. Basically, you'll get a hold of the Drudge Ghoul, which can sell from anywhere from around about 10,000 towards 30,000 gold, depending on your server. So I would double check the prices of this actual battle pet before you actually go ahead and do it, as I find that it is a bit of a free-for-all with whether you or not you're actually going to get it, and it's really just a case of, are you willing to take 20 minutes to actually run the actual raid for yourself to actually do. Failing that, there is another way in order to make gold from this actual raid, and that would be if you have a paladin, warrior and death knight. You can use this in order to do the Shadowlands quest line, which once you've actually completed the quest line, which will take a numerous amount of weeks on 25-man heroic, you will be able to receive the Crimson Death Charger, as well as a load of different types of mementos at the end of it, as well as a legendary item which you can use for yourself. I find that this is a great way in order to make a decent chunk of gold if you have a character that isn't doing an awful much, as 20 minutes per week is nothing in the grand scheme of just gold making in general, and you can do this in a passive sense until you've actually completed the quest line, which then you can get enough items to sell on the auction house, which will fetch just over 1 million gold as of the time of this recording. Now, coming into number 4, which is QIRAJ. Now, QIRAJ is quite a funny little different type of raid, as this is mainly just farmed up for battle pets in particular. Now, on the low end, you have the mini Mind Slayer, which comes from the first boss of the actual raid, and the next one will be from the Twin Emperors. This is the Anubis idol, which is used quite a lot in battle pets. Now, this one tends to sell from anywhere from about 2,000 to 5,000 gold. The raid takes literally no time to actually do, and I find that this makes you a decent amount of gold if you are running this on the regular. Aside from all of that, there is another one that you can actually farm up, and that is your highest priced battle pet, which is the Viscidus Globule. Now, the Viscidus Globule can be farmed up from Viscidus, which is an optional boss within the raid. What you'll be wanting to do is have a character with enough physical speed in order to damage him, as well as using a chance of elemental force. I would primarily put this on a low based weapon, as it just works a lot better, as you can't put that enchant on one of our max level items at this moment in time. Now, aside from that, what you're going to need to do once you've actually got the enchant of elemental force on the actual blade, you'll be wanting to then attack Viscidus, freeze him by using the elemental force on your blade, and then shatter him, which then you are able to loot that boss. Failing you aren't able to freeze him and shatter him, he will not die. So that is like one of the only ways in order to actually kill him, is by freezing him and then shattering him. This mechanic tends to be quite annoying, and that's why a lot of people do skip Viscidus, hence why the Viscidus Globule goes for a high amount of gold in relation to all of the other battle pets in this raid. Aside from all of that, let's get into number 5, which is the Trial of the Crusader. Now, the Trial of the Crusader drops some nice but different types of battle pets from this. It gives you an okay amount of raw gold from this as well, as you can vendor some of these items for a decent chunk. Aside from all of that, the battle pets that you will actually get from this raid is the Dreadmore and the Nerubian Swarmer. Those ones tend to sell for anywhere from about 2,000 to 3,000 gold respectively, but the one of note that actually does sell for the most and currently is selling on the region at 10,000 gold is the Snowbold Runt. Tends to sell for a decent chunk of gold on the auction house, and it tends to sell faster than all of the others from this actual raid. Now, I put this on last on the list because it's one of those ones that you can literally do in about 10-15 minutes, and you can just park an alt out there that you don't use that frequently in order to give a try at doing this raid. Typically, I tend to go towards the Trial of the Crusader if I want to do a quick farming session and want to see if I can actually get some gold from all of this. Failing that, once at the end of the raid, you do have a portal which will send you back to Dalaran if you so wish to post that on the auction house. Aside from all of that, guys, that is pretty much everything I have to say for the best raid farms at this moment in time. Obviously, we got a bit of a hit when it comes in relation to raw gold, but hopefully that helped actually see which different types of raids are worth actual farming at this moment in time. Have an awesome rest of the day, guys, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon. If you want to support the channel and help make the channel even better, then why not check out the Patreon? Members get additional info, gold making resources, and Patreon specific content. The link is located in the description down below. Thank you and have an awesome day.